Come on in and sit down. You cut the hardcore crew chewing the fat. You cut us shooting the shit. You cut us in the moment. You and I have been talking about the possibility of John Cena leaving the WWE for reality TV. And we know that right now, Joe, that Cena is currently doing a reality show on Fox. It's, if I'm not mistaken, it's a bodybuilding reality show. And the article that you sent me was a strong indication that he was leaving indefinitely. According to earlier reports, there was a talk that he wouldn't be back until the end of the year. So, Joe, let me ask you, do you really think there's a chance of Cena leaving?
You know, I think from what we even discussed before, the situation I look at it is Cena's following the steps of The Rock, and I kind of find that amusing because I think a couple years ago he was belittling The Rock for taking Hollywood over wrestling.
You know, I remember that, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think that was
just kayfabe.
It was a shoot, but it was almost like ad-libbed, no doubt. But I think it was kayfabe because, to be honest, John Cena had done several movies himself.
Oh, absolutely. You know, is it good for him? Yes, because it puts him in a different environment, something that Cena needs to do, and at this point in his life, he needs to start focusing on other things to save money. Now, the main question here is, can the WWE afford to let him go? That's the big question here, because their ratings haven't been good. And usually when the ratings don't go well, you know as well as I do, WWE heads back to nostalgia. They'll go back to the classics.
And you know what? That makes a very valid point. I mean, we really don't know what the whole story is. Like I said, this article was an indication. John Cena himself has not made any statement. There were other reasons they said why he's doing this is because he's taking a break before the road to WrestleMania. We've heard a couple of other things. Like I said, I think it's more of the internet wrestling community doing their own spin on what's actually happening. So I want to talk about the possibility if he is leaving. Let's just assume. And keep in mind, we are in the moment, folks, so we are not saying that nothing's been confirmed. This is just an assumption that John Cena is leaving for the WWE. How do you see them recovering from that?
You know what? WWE will try to get along without Cena, and they're going to have to focus on what they have. And right now, that's their golden boy. That's their era of Hulk Hogan. And if Cena's gone, geez, they're going to be hard-pressed to find the next John Cena. And it's crazy to say it that way, but yes, they'll have to find the next John Cena. The problem, let me also throw a little side thing here. When, at this current time, the WWE is having a hard time getting that next character, that next mega star. Roman Reigns, he's still being booed. That's why they kind of pulled the belt away from him. Now it's like they're trying to focus on how to get the sympathy pattern with him. I don't see Roman Reigns being the next John Cena, nor Dean Ambrose, or anybody in the current roster. The good thing is, with John Cena gone, it does give time for everybody else to have a free chance to elevate up. Also, on the negative side, when ratings start slipping as bad as they have been, what does WWE do? They go back to nostalgia, and they'll bring Cena back. Never say never. If John Cena needs the money, he'll come back. If the WWE needs ratings, they'll bring him back. So it's a two-sided coin.
Yeah, and there's also the other possibility that Cena could be, he's getting at that age where he might just go to part-time. It is a strong possibility. And I want to address what you said about who could the next John Cena be, and you were talking about Roman Reigns. And, I have to disagree with you wholeheartedly because I think Roman Reigns, there's been, whispers around the internet that Reigns was being groomed to be that next spot. So maybe the WWE is starting to foresee this. And right now, I think you said they're building the sympathy, and I think this was the plan all along to do a one-year adventure because if you look at the past year, Roman Reigns had not had the best year. And I think, like you said, it's a sympathy, but at WrestleMania, I think is where you can possibly win. If he wins at TLC, I will be shocked.
I doubt it. I doubt he's going to win at TLC, to be honest, because of the fact that they need to do something with that character. And he's still receiving as much bulls as he is the cheers. And I think the problem with WWE is, and you even know, they're having a hard time trying to get. They don't want their champion to be booed. They want their champion. If it's a baby face, they want that baby face to be, cheered and loved. They want to be the next John Cena type character.
But there's your point right there. It's literally he's split down the middle.
But you know what? That's right now. Back then, he was the golden boy. Everybody loved John Cena.
You know what, though? But how long ago was that? You gotta be honest, it's been at least 5, maybe 10 years. Over the past, you know what I mean? Since he's turned babyface, and he stayed there, for a while fans were liking it, but it was when he was like the Thugonomics, and I hate to say it, I wasn't a big fan of him then. When he made the switch, I started to slowly gain respect for him.
And that's very true, But the main thing is, John Cena, let's face it, he's the poster for the children. He's what the WWE wants.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, Reigns, as much as he's a good worker, I give him that. I just don't see him being up to that level just of yet. He still has a lot to go, and while he's learning, I think that's what they need to do. Keep him learning and improving. Right now he didn't really get a chance to hold the belt. I can understand why. He was a little bit too green. I think they want to see what will happen if they build up this scenario where he is doing, if he can actually get out there and really be something that the fans really want. Because right now we're all speculating. We're thinking, Reigns wants to be, in our opinion, he should be the champion. He should be the guy. Unfortunately, it's the same fans who are turning against the guy and literally saying, well, you know what, he's not ready in our opinion. They're still booing him, and WWE doesn't want that. Let me say this. What makes it difficult in today's era compared to the era of yesterday is the fact that back then you knew who the baby faces were automatically, and you knew who the heels were. And they can capture that. They can, they emphasize on the kayfabe and all that stuff. Now, today, it's very difficult because it's literally still not cut clear. Like you see Dean Ambrose, he's a babyface but acts like a heel sometimes. And I think that's one of the great things about his character is that he's kind of a tweener while still being cheered. And I think if he was the one that became the world champion, I think I think the fans will probably accept it more.
What you're saying makes a lot of sense, and I do agree with you. And I think Cena, him moving away, or at least taking this hiatus, whatever it is you want to call it, like you said, it's building these other wrestlers, which right now the wrestling industry really needs, or at least the WWE really needs, because you have Cena taking a leave of absence, you have Seth Rollins injured, you have Daniel Bryan's career possibly over, and Randy Orton's injured, Cesaro's injured, and it's like this all seems to happen usually right after WrestleMania, but now we're seeing it happen before WrestleMania.
Well, let's face it, and the reason you're seeing all these injuries, it's because these guys like to go 200 miles per hour, and they don't slow down. And that's the thing of today's wrestling. And the terminology, it's the spot monkeys. Granted, Randy Orton isn't a spot monkey, but he's a hard worker. You have Daniel Bryan, who's a spot monkey to the extent, and you have all these other guys that are just going out and killing themselves without pacing themselves. And what happens is they're literally not taking the time to rest.
We'd like to take this time, guys, and welcome a few more people to the Hardcore Crew. First, he's the incomparable Lance Moss over at Lance Moss TV. Lance, what's going on?
Not much.
And then, of course, we have the WrestleGamer, Double B. He's over at WGSTV over on Facebook and YouTube. Billy, what's up?
What's up?
And last and certainly not least, we have the Studley Man, Ashley. Ash, what's shaking?
Probably everybody's hind legs. I don't know.
Well, guys, we were just, me and Joe were talking about John Cena, and there was one article that was suggesting that John Cena was leaving for reality TV. Now, we all know that John Cena is currently working with Fox in a bodybuilding reality series, and the article that I read made a strong suggestion that he was making the full leap.
I wouldn't say it's that much of a huge problem. There's got to be a bit where he realizes at some point there's still the draw. It's the Dwayne moment, should I say? There's the point where it's like, I've probably done as much as I can here. Let's go into new ventures, because they'll still want me back. Admittedly, with Cena, there will be some that don't want him back, but he is the new Hogan. Except I don't think Cena said the M word privately on camera.
You know, with Lance, I know you know John Cena fan. Do you see him even coming back as a part-time, or do you think maybe the internet's got it wrong?
Yeah, I don't see him coming back part-time. I see him after he gets his little his little reality show done, Cena until he can't walk anymore. He's going to be in the next Hogan.
Some part of me doesn't see that. I mean, because Cena has done alternate careers. I think, even though Hulk Hogan has done that, he's done movies, he's done reality shows, but I think Hulk Hogan likes the spotlight a little too much. Even when he was doing his reality show, he kind of has that, the Hulkster gimmick that never really went away. John Cena, when you see him on other reality shows like Total Divas, he's a totally different person. So I think he could possibly walk away at some point. Billy, you're a huge John Cena fan. I know you are, because you're booing the haters, so to speak. If John Cena does leave, who do you see stepping up to the plate and being the next John Cena?
Well, they're working up a lot of people, in my opinion, to try to fill in that void. Even though it's not working as of late, they're trying definitely for Mr. Joseph Knight's favorite wrestler of all time, Ryback, in that position. I know there's a few people in NXT that they could possibly bring up and try to fill in that void. Finn Balor could definitely be a person that they could put into that spot. I would see them attempting to possibly maybe do Sami Zayn when he's healthy, because he has a huge enough following as it is in the wrestling industry in itself. But as far as anybody currently on the main roster goes, I would think the only person that they could possibly build to be in that position of a John Cena would more than likely have to be Roman Reigns.
I wrote an article about the Roman Empire, and a lot of people seem to think that he's going to win the title back at TLC. And me and Joe are pretty much in agreement that we just don't see that happening. It's only because I think that what's going to, where Reigns will finally win the title is at WrestleMania. It's going to be a one-year venture. Ashley, would you agree with me or disagree with me with that?
I'm sort of wondering whether they're realizing that they're going to have to pitch it a way in which people will want to see him as champion. And to be honest, the best way that you could build him up is actually have him beat Roman Reigns at Mania. You pitch that, and then it's like rewriting the history that happened. Because then, of course, you could you can't have Seth Rollins come back because he's still injured. But then it can be, Rollins could come back and have to be involved that way. But I honestly see that more in the picture for him in terms of WrestleMania booking than your idea. But, knowing how many ideas that they went through and supposedly how Survivor Series was rewritten that day, they were in trouble.
Guys, I want to change the subject a little bit. Joe, you were talking to me earlier about TNA and a whole bunch of lies they were telling to Pop TV. Joe, why don't you tell the rest of the story?
The situation is we all know that once again, Dixie Carter has decided to jump her company to another service, and it's another network. So they went from Spike TV, where they were drawing decent numbers. They went to Destination America, where they lost a lot. Now they went to Pop Network, which is, I guess, affiliated with CBS. We all know this is going to be, no matter where they go, they're going to, if they're not advertising their wrestlers or promoting it, it's going to be nowhere. Well, apparently, several articles have come up since then. One, that Pop Network is not paying for their TV time, and Dixie Carter's not paying for their services to be on that network. So we don't really know what's going on. But today's topic is one of the Pop networks, and I have to review the article again. It's also listed in the HWR chat room on Facebook, where you can view it yourself. They said the reason they're pulling TNA to their network is because they had millions of viewers on their network, and that's pretty much it. That they from what they're told, TNA can bring in all these millions of viewers to their network, just like they did Spike, and the reason they failed Destination America, because Dixie Carter blames them. Gentlemen, the question is, we all know Dixie Carter's got to lie in order to save this company. Eventually, they will find the numbers out. Facts will come up. Do you see TNA lasting long, and what do you think about this, bold statement that they believe TNA had millions of viewers.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you, which I think TNA is going to get the upper hand on this one because, they're going to go in, they're going to get more viewers than they had before because I guess there's more like 80 million homes that has Pop TV, where I think before Destination America only had a fraction of that. Will I be watching it? Yes. I'm sure that other people who are wrestling fans who have Pop TV will be watching it, so there's going to be more viewers. Do I think it's going to hit that million mark? Probably not. And it's eventually going to bite them in the ass, but who knows what this next step will be.
Millions of people are
Ash,
watching
your
it,
thoughts?
except that's the total global audience. It's not just
Exactly
in America or in the UK or anything. It's true they have millions, It's that good old word semantics, bitches. Oh, somehow it doesn't surprise me. Part of me also wonders whether, considering it's the TV industry, I shouldn't be surprised, but whether anybody at Pop decides to do research about what was going on here.
Yeah.
There clearly must be something wrong, because, as I said before, it was the highest rated show on Spike, but they dropped them. It was the highest rated show on Destination America, and they're dropping them.
Well, in my opinion, they left Spike was because they couldn't afford the time slot. And then they went to a lesser, probably a place where they don't have to spend so much, which was Destination America. When that failed, and I think you got to admit the network was trying to push professional wrestling when they actually brought in Ring of Honor. It was a situation that Dixie didn't advertise her talent, so it was the company they failed, not the network.
Well, you know what, Joe? I'm going to cut you. I have to disagree with you there. While making the jump to Destination America was not TNA's wisest choice, because again, there was only a fraction. A lot of people who had basic cable at Comcast, unless if you had the Dish Network, Destination America was not a part of your basic package. Billy, let me ask you, making this jump. And, how's this going to bite them? Do you foresee this biting TNA in the ass, or do you think it actually might work out?
I'm somewhat reminded of what happened to ECW when they went to TNN, when it was known as the Nashville Network at that time, and how the poor handling of the internal business skills and promotion between Paul Heyman and TNN ultimately spelled the doom for ECW in early 2001, and unfortunately, it seems to be, lightning striking twice in the form of this also happening to TNA, and the way that Dixie Carter is handling the business aspect of TNA, it's ultimately going to end up in the same area as ECW, in the ground.
We can certainly hope so. And I hate to say that, about the talent. Because it's not the talent's fault. It's the stupidity of one woman who supposedly has advertising and promoting experience.
And, Lance, let me ask you. I think they're also talking about, I think ROH is leaving
I believe so.
Destination America. So now Destination America is getting rid of both of them, both TNA and Ring of Honor. Let me ask you, making the jump to this Pop TV, which is, again, not really a sports-heavy or even a popular TV show,
well,
how do you think it's going to affect them?
Their Pop is trying to figure out what the hell it's going to do anyway. But then again, it had Paragon Pro Wrestling ditched them, picked up TNA, which is a little bit of a increase, but still, it'll help TNA stay afloat a little bit. I'm just happy I get to watch it now because I didn't have Destination America back here, and I do have Pop.
Has anyone noticed on the TNA YouTube channel, as of late, they started uploading full episodes on their YouTube channel?
Well, the problem was, again, we talked about it before, is when they were over Destination America, almost nobody had it. You had to purchase it. And Destination America, if you don't have it, costs $18 a month. Now, think about that for a moment. WWE has their own network for $10 a month, and they do more than wrestling. Pay-per-views, everything. Now, TNA, unless you're a huge TNA fan, you have to pay $18 to watch that because there's nothing else on wrestling related. It's all has to do with Discovery stuff. Unless if you're a big Discovery and wrestling fan, yeah, it works, but not for $18 a month. If it was $5 a month, see what they've done.
Regardless of anything, regardless if they went on whatever network, they still did not advertise and promote their wrestlers. And it doesn't matter where you go to. Technically, if nobody knows who you are, what you do, then your product is still going to suffer regardless. You can have the best wrestling company in the world. If nobody knows that and knows, oh wow, that's Robert Roode, it's a same scenario. Who's going to care? So you're not going to do well on any network.
Now, another thing that we talked about TNA, because obviously TNA is making these jumps, they're having a lot of problems, and everybody is just waiting for that day when TNA goes under. If you ask me, as long as the Carters are putting money into this, to Dixie's, little product that's failing miserably, I think TNA is not going to go anywhere anytime soon. I mean, they'll probably go bankrupt before, unfortunately, they get rid of that. Ash, would you agree with me, or you disagree?
That's the thing. As long as the Carters, basically, Panda Energy needs to fail.
Yeah, and, you wonder how much money they're putting in. We knew that a couple of years ago they were putting millions of dollars into it just to get the Hulk Hogans, the Ric Flairs, the Mick Foleys. And Ash, I think we just lost Ash. Billy, over to you real quick with the whole situation, the money situation. Do you think the Carters are going to be keep on pouring money in, or do you think there's going to be a time when they say
there's got to be a time when they look at it and from a business standpoint and saying, you know what, we're putting money into this product, we're not seeing any sort of return, we're not making any money back off of this business venture, and at some point they're going to have to say, you know what, we need to cut off this flow of money into a sinking ship that we're not making any money off of, because the sole purpose of going into a business in any form, in any aspect, whether it be the entertainment industry, food service industry, or any type of an industry, is to make money and not lose money.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you anymore. And hopefully the Carters, either Dixie's going to turn things around, which we know she's not going to be able to after 12 years, or the Carters wake up and smell the coffee burning.
Unless she has her daddy finger tight wetter. I don't even know what white means.
You mean
at the back?
Are you suggesting that maybe she's having incense with her family?
Do we have? Only on Hardcore Wrestling Radio do we go in that direction. I am your hardcore host, Rick Head, and I want to thank you all for listening. Please, if you have any comments about John Cena leaving, I'll put those comments in the comments below. I want to thank the hardcore crew here for coming on. First, Joseph Knight from the CWA.
Pretty much, fans can follow me on Twitter at JKnightCWA. You can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com, Joseph Knight Manager.
And then he's the WrestleGamer, Billy Boudreau, over at WGSTV. Billy, what do you got going on?
Over the past week, guys and gals, for personal reasons, I have not uploaded anything in over a week. I'm going to try to get back into the swing of things, but it's just going to take a couple of days or so before the personal matters are sorted out.
Okay, and if you guys want to, in the meantime, check out, he's got a lot of content over on youtube.com/WrestleGamer, guys. Look it up and check them out. I want to also welcome the incomparable Lance Moss over at youtube.com/Lance Moss TV. Lance, what do you got going on?
NASCAR question videos, redneck gourmet cooking videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants. Every Wednesday I go live at 7 Central, 8 Eastern with Lance Moss TV and friends. I never know who's going to show up. And, well, I'm also trying to hit 200 subscribers by New Year's. And, well, I'm not far off, but I need more subs.
Get on over there, guys, and hit that subscribe button. And, while you're here, click that subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. Mm-hmm. Ash, thanks for coming on. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. What do you got going on?
I'm working out why WWE is trying to do kamikaze with that Raw from last week. There's a reason why less than 3 million people watched it. It was crap.
I couldn't agree with you more. We actually did a Raw rant in under 13 minutes, and it really disheartened me.
Turns out on that same night, there was a match in Mexico featuring a wrestler called Super Porky. I am more interested.
That we will be watching here in a few minutes.
Porky.
That was a good movie.
Well, you know what? For the hardcore crew, I'm your hardcore host saying, that's all, folks.
Thank you for listening to this edition of In the Moment. Make sure you follow us at any one of our locations.
whether it's YouTube, Dailymotion, and now SoundCloud.com under the name HWR Show. Until the next time, this is your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.